Hey everyone, welcome back to the Data Crunch podcast. I'm Vadym, your host, and today we're tackling a question I think most data teams have silently screamed at some point. Why do we treat analytics logic like temporary sticky notes? You know, dashboards built on a fragile SQL, versioned only by file names like all lowercase final, all caps final, caps this one, use SQL. And joining me today, you know her, you love her, it's Helen, Head of Customer Success here at OWAX. Helen, welcome back.
Thanks, Vadym. Yeah, it's always great to be here. And about the question you asked, yes, the nightmare starts when someone opens the file 6 months later and says, wait, where did this number come from? I've been there. So a SQL that no one remembers written, no context, no backups, just, vibes.
Yeah, exactly. And that brings us straight to today's topic, version control in analytics. And if you're enjoying our podcast, hit that subscribe button. We drop episodes every Thursday with stories, real life lessons, and just enough drama to keep it fun. All right, Helen, let's jump in. Version control. Really not the sexiest term, but wow, it is important.
Totally. Think of version control as giving your analyst logic a brain and a memory. So without it, you're one broken query away from a crisis.
Yeah, let's talk about the pain points. What happens when analytics teams don't use version control?
Okay, first, people overwrite each other's work without knowing, or even worse, they copy paste logic into 5 other places, and suddenly your single source of truth is 5 sources with different numbers.
Yeah, and when things go wrong, you hear, oh yeah, Anna changed that formula last week, I think. No change log, no context, just a shrug.
Yeah, exactly. And, let's be honest, tribal knowledge is not a long-term data strategy.
Yeah, agree. All right, so what does good version control look like in the analytics world?
Think central Git repos. So for dbt models, SQL scripts, even your BI dashboards, use pull requests, add comments, review changes, and it's about it's not about slowing things down. It's about knowing who changed what, when, and why.
Exactly, and structured folders, not final_final or dashboard new July edited.
Yeah, real names, please. And the ability to roll back when something breaks. Yeah, that's absolute lifesaver.
Now, let's say you're new to this. What is the best way to dip your toes into version control?
Yeah, start with your core metrics, the KPIs everyone depends on. Version those queries first. And even if you're just using GitHub with basic folders and simple commit messages, it's a huge step forward. Assign code owners, track who's responsible for what. Yeah, and hey, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be better than invisible logic, like floating around in people's head.
Okay, let's shift gears a little bit. Helen, hit us with a real-world story, one where version control saved the day or where the lack of it almost sank the ship.
Sure. At one company in a faraway galaxy, a junior analyst updated their revenue model on Friday, of course. On Monday, the CFO saw 30% jump in MRR and almost celebrated it with the champagne. But turns out the analyst accidentally duplicated a filter or something and inflated the numbers. Like no versioning, no pull request, just silent update, and it took days to untangle. If we'd had version control, one glance at the commit would have caught it in seconds.
Yeah, champagne postponed, I guess. That's the perfect case for why this matters. All right, let's get to a rapid fire time. Helen, give us some quick version control tips every analyst should know.
Yeah, let's go. First is always explain your commit messages. Fixed stuff, it will not help anyone. A good message tells not just what changed, because Git already shows that, but why it changed and how you fixed it. That context is also good, especially when you hit a similar issue months later and need to, retrace your steps. So you just should be able to find that version. The second thing, I'd say, don't push it to main. Open a pull request and get a second pair of eyes. Of course, if your workflow allows it. And this ties directly into the previous point. A clear, precise commit message makes the review process way faster. So the person reviewing your PR will instantly understand what was changed and why, no guesswork, no back and forth, all these things. Next, I'd say create the README for your folders with context. Actually, the folder structure itself matters a lot. I've seen the different setups that they all worked well, organized by department, by product area, by vendor, if relevant, or by project, basically. One thing I do not recommend, naming folders after analysts. If you are looking for a change related to a country group in names, you won't think to check the Julie or Thomas folder, even if their readmes are perfectly written. So keep folders shallow when possible. If you need 5 clicks to find a model, that's the red flag. Another one is archive in SQL. Do not delete them, please. Just archive. And even if it's no longer in use, old SQL can hold valuable context. You might need to reference it later to understand how a metric was calculated in the past, or debug something, or answer what changed question from stakeholders. So you can just create archive or deprecated folder, whatever, and add a quick note about why it's no longer in use, and move it there. Clean structure, no lost history. Yeah, makes sense. And the last one, I'd say the naming conventions. Use it consistent. Report version 2 final is a lie. Yeah, I know it sounds obvious, but this naming chaos is still everywhere. When you're using tools like Git, there is no need to cram metadata into file names, no dates, no initials. It already tracks who changed what and when. So your file names should focus on what the SQL actually does, monthly revenue by region, instead of final, use this one SQL. The clear names, faster onboarding, easier review, and just fewer headaches. That's it.
Yes, thank you so much, Helen. That's a great breakdown. And now, before we wrap up, Helen, give us a quick tool roundup. What should people be checking out?
DBT. They have built-in versioning, testing, and documentation. It's just the game changer. GitHub or Bitbucket. Don't overthink it. Start with some basics. And some any internal tool you use, for knowledge sharing, like Notion or Fibery, plus SQL actually. If your team is not ready for Git, Like you can use this combo and it will still give you some structure.
Yeah, great advice. So there you have it. Version control isn't just a dev thing, it's the key to consistent, reliable analytics in fast-moving teams.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be complicated. Just pick a spot, start small, and grow from there.
And if you want to trust your data and bring order to your analytics logic, check out OXBI. We'll make it easy to version your transformations, track changes, and collaborate on data across your team. Head to ox.com and start your journey to reliable, transparent analytics today.
Yeah, thanks everyone for listening. And remember, you don't need perfection, you need visibility. Version control helps you get there.
Yes, thank you, Helen. Thanks to everyone listening. Subscribe, leave us a comment, and tell us your best version control horror story. We'll catch you guys in the next episode of the Data Crunch podcast.